Back here, the All Things Arkansas Football Show, and the star of the show is the one and only Ryan Silverfield. Ryan, thank you so much for taking some time, man.
Yeah, thrilled to be on here, guys. Appreciate it.
And so I'm sure you're not sleeping much. You know, Peyton, another guy that
you can tell he's working hard though.
Out partying a little bit too much. You know, what have you been doing to keep busy? You have any time really to get away from football these days?
Listen, it's all encompassing and it's been great. I think you look at the last 60 plus days that I've been here in Fayetteville. It's been go, and you couldn't ask for it any other way. And it's been fun because there's so many people, the support system, the administration, the other coaches, the people that have been involved, the fans. It's made this thing go. So, you know, when you're feeling okay, gotta get through this, keep pushing. I mean, it's just there's so much excitement going on with what we're able to do and the people that are involved with it. Time outside of football, none yet. Maybe when the weather cools down after spring ball, maybe I'll pick up a golf club. Maybe I'll see a little bit more of the great state of Arkansas.
Got some great golf up
I'm
here.
looking to, drive around. I finally got to see a little bit more Fayetteville during the daylight the other day. So it's great. Beautiful place.
How's the wife? You still know how to change the diapers?
Yeah. Don't worry. That's one of those things that has not gone away. So she can remind me whether it's bringing them up to the office at perfect timing for a diaper change. No, listen, my wife is loving it here. It's going to be a wonderful place to raise our girls and couldn't be more thrilled.
Is there anything, a restaurant you've gotten to go to, anything you've done to?
So I got to be careful, like who's our sponsorships, right?
We don't have, we're working on one.
We're working on one. You want to get you guys one right now? Listen, I know Wright's Barbecue does very good, great job. So obviously the food here has been phenomenal. It really has. And been able to partake in some of the things. It's just such a unique community. It's, people always say it was at a college town in essence, but there's so many great things about this in all of Northwest Arkansas. So it's been a lot of fun, but as time continues to wind down, I'm going to get out and about as best as I can.
And one thing, major credit to you, really trying to give you your flowers, man. You've been so accessible all across the media, really selling the program. We thank you. We notice it. I've worked here back 2010. It always followed the program. As far as I can tell, you've been the most accessible head coach since dating back to 2010 here at Arkansas. Even Peyton, getting the chance to embrace some former players here at Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have hope as far as what you're bringing to the table, as far as what you said, to me through text or just in there a while ago. I mean, we haven't had a real big presence as far as coaching with past players coming into the program and being welcomed. And you've been doing nothing but that since you got here. And, that's something I'm really looking forward to and I appreciate.
Well, first, let me hit on what was said earlier. I think it's important to be present for the media and allow access, right? We have so many wonderful things to sell, right? I mean, listen, there's so many exciting things, like I said, that have gone on the last 60 plus days. And so why shouldn't I make myself, our program accessible? And the more we can sell our vision and tell the fans what we're all about, it's also a recruiting pitch. I mean, all the great things that are out here, but I want the fans to understand really kind of let's peel back the curtains and see what's really going on. And hopefully there's some excitement. People get to see the hard work of so many others. And then Peyton, to your words, listen, I mean this wholeheartedly. Like I want the former players to feel involved. There'll be some announcement about somebody that I'm hiring that's going to be strictly to help out the alumni, right, that played for the Arkansas football Razorbacks and that want to make sure that you guys are involved, that you have the opportunity to come out to practice, spend time with us. I've actually sent a waiver into the NCAA. I found out you have one more year of eligibility.
There we go. And, there we go. We were talking about that last week. He thinks Drake May should be playing in college next year.
Yeah, I got you $100 NIL deal, and I was told you can take a handoff here or there, but no, listen, I mean that wholeheartedly. Like I understand how important that Arkansas is on the front of our jerseys and what that means to not only the community, but the former players. So I'm thrilled. Like I'm going to be begging you to come back, spend time with us. Hopefully when it all settles down, you and I just get the chance to go have dinner and just talk about things and how I can continue to involve all the great Razorbacks and all those that, that bled that Razorback red for us.
I appreciate that. No, I mean, that's welcome to my ears. I mean, honestly, since I've left college, we haven't had a coach that really does that reached out to at all, and that it's great that you're doing that because I know it, the guys that I played with, we talk and, that's always been a point of conflict, with us, like we not feel welcome back in the hometown. So I really appreciate that, and I'll be looking forward to it. I'm gonna take you up on it too, so don't worry about that.
No, absolutely. Listen, I want you guys all, as long as you don't have suggestions on plays, that's always start involving the alumni too much and like, hey, we ran this back in my day. And,
Dude was part of
Yeah,
the Wild Hog.
you know-
he was part of it.
And I can say this, and he knows that's the last thing you want. Somebody side seat driving coach. Let's let him do your job. I won't say a word. I mean, you do you, and and from what I've been reading up, I feel like you're going to do a great job.
Well,
I
we're
really do.
going to do right by you and all the former Razorbacks.
Well, I appreciate
Well, you're
that.
always a Razorback, but all the former players, we're going to do right by you by the way we represent ourselves and the classroom, the community, on and off the field by the way we play. And I think that's the thing I can do as a testament to guys like you that played the game the right way. Bunch of tough-nosed dudes that love ball. Like, I hope that, every time you get to watch our games, hopefully in the stands and or on TV, you're like, man, Silverfield was right. Like, those dudes play hard, and that's a great representation of so many greats like yourself.
I really appreciate it. If I could have one thing, I think we can try
Here
to
we
get
go.
Darren McFadden's jersey retired.
Oh,
I mean,
how about this? I know you don't really control that. Is maybe you familiar with the LSU number 7?
Yeah.
Is there a chance? I mean, the best player from the state of Arkansas wears 5. Any kind of thought on that?
Yeah, I give it some thought. Obviously, listen, I did reach out to Darren. Obviously, immense amount of respect for him as an individual and as a player, and he was great. What I appreciate about him, just like you, is like, Coach, thank you so much for reaching out. I mean, that means a lot. And then let me know if there's, and it's rare, very few, like, what can I do for you and your program? Anything you ever need. And that to me means how much this program meant to him and then what we can do. So any way we can honor guys such as yourselves and Darren, I'm all for it.
Do you feel in recruiting, is that a thing? Like, everybody, even if some of these players literally in diapers when Darren was playing at Arkansas, is that a thing? Like, I'm coming to Arkansas, I'm wearing number 5.
We in-state recruiting for sure, right? And you obviously have a lot of these guys that have, maybe their dads have told them the stories about it. As we continue to get older, it's
Gosh,
like, who's that? No, I think some of those, true legends, obviously, they never get forgotten. But I think there are going to be some of those guys, especially in state, that are like, I grew up wearing that 5, and is there a chance that I can continue to do so?
40 new players on the roster. Please tell me you got everybody you got, right? 1 through 40. That was the guys you exactly wanted to fill in.
It slotted perfectly. Listen, I think that's, people look at that and say, is that a big number? I think it's really probably, maybe on the higher end, obviously with a new staff, but it's truly on par with a
feels
full,
commonplace. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I was at Memphis, and I was going into my 10th year at Memphis, and we had the most newcomers on any staff and so on any roster. And so everybody says, well, how did you manage? Well, listen, I just got done 12 months ago managing the exact same thing, dealing with new rosters, new players. So as we like to say, that's this day and age in college football. Welcome to the new world. Yeah. And so the 40 seems minimal. I'm like, oh, that's it? Okay. But again, they're all new to us trying to figure it out, but they're all our guys. So you'll never hear me say my guys. Like, listen, all 102 guys we have on the roster right now, today, this morning, working out, they're all my guys, love them equally, and excited to see what they're capable of.
I've been very impressed with the in-state guys that you've been able to recruit, and that's being from Arkansas. And I can tell that you're already on board with this, and like you actually take the time to look into it. But when you're an in-state guy in Arkansas, there's nothing bigger than being an Arkansas Razorback. And for you to go out there and get those guys and switch guys over that are committed somewhere else and bring them back, I mean, that's huge. And because I think that's when we had our best teams, we've had a lot of in-state guys that really put their heart into it.
Sure. And I'm all for recruiting in state. I'm going to do my best. And listen, I think a lot of fans wish you should just sign 25 kids from the state of Arkansas. Impossible.
Yeah.
But let me say this, and let me make sure this is said publicly. This past signing class, which we got done really in a 48-hour period, let's call it what it was, landed,
crazy,
said hello to Coach Calipari, said hello to the team.
Good guy to say hello to.
Yeah. Said hello to our team, got to meet them. And literally for 48 straight hours, how quickly can we put together a signing class here? And if you think about this, and I think this, I don't think we need to blast this out more ourselves, right? Over half this signing class came from the state of Arkansas. Let me say that again, over half this high school signing class came from the state of Arkansas. Like, I don't know what else I can do. Listen, I wish we could take all 25 guys, but we got to be realistic with it. Some people say, hey, you got to take this and that. That's great. There's so many talented young men in this state. But if we're not taking a guy at this position, or if we already got one slotted for this, or if it look, Look, I think every fan, especially those in this great state, will sit there and say, "Man, they're making a hell of an effort to try to keep the talent here."
And I can see that. And I mean, honestly, it's been great. It's been a breath of fresh air to see it too. Really.
Good.
What can you tell us about Geiska Crowley?
Yeah,
They're really kind of unknown. This most interesting man here in Arkansas football comes over from Arizona, completely flipped their roster in 1 year. Why are you so excited to work with him? How instrumental was he in what you guys are doing?
sure. Guys is a guy that I never worked with in the past. So a lot of times you always hire guys that you had probably worked with and
This
spent
was more
time
word of
with.
mouth.
And this was, yeah, I heard about him over the years, right? He had obviously a guy similar to me, kind of cut his teeth the right way. Wasn't born, just immediately. He started off on a, an NFL roster, with a famous dad. He just kind of, I think at one time he was like a middle school special ed teacher and just kind of learned and kind of grew up and climbed his teeth and cut his teeth in this profession the right way. And so, kind of seeing what he did at Arizona. And what I loved about him was I brought him in an interview and sat down with him is he brought new ideas to me. Right. And as the head coach, we always think we got all the ideas, we got all the answers. But yeah, here's a guy that brought new ideas to me that challenged my way of thinking, that had some creative ways outside the box thinking, organizational skills, a great way to assess players. And so when you talk about putting together, in essence, a general manager for football, he checked a lot of the boxes for what we're looking for. And it's pretty crazy because you get thrown right into the mix. Right. Hey, the most hectic time in college football, work together and see what you're all about. So him and I were, hand in hand, arm in arm, really for 6 straight weeks trying to put together this roster. And credit to so many of the other coaches, but thrilled to have him.
That's great.
Full staff, I believe, is 16 members. Is that bigger than
The
an
biggest
NFL
class, right?
No, it's the coaching staff.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It-
It's a big
NFL wise, that's larger than NFL coaching staff, right? On field coach wise.
Oh, most definitely on field. Yes. I mean, you got a lot of player personnel. And I mean, as far as, kind of what Mike Shanahan does now for Kyle Shanahan, you have a lot of overseers that are really not part of the staff, kind of sit behind the scenes and stuff. But it seems like, to me, having that much, it seems like you put a lot of attention to detail, and you want to make sure
Yeah.
that people are seeing things sometimes that you may not be seeing. And it seems like you're not a prideful person, that you're going to go in there and do your best.
Yeah, no question. I think that, you don't want to get too big of a staff, right? It's not the old
Yeah.
Patriots way where we only have 8 guys on staff. And we're also not one of these where we got 80 coaches. It's funny that,
The Patriot staffs were way too small.
Yeah.
Bill, great coach, but he needed more people there. But go ahead.
No, I think you get everyone has a position coach and then generally some type of assistant. Now, if it's a grad assistant, is it a quality control? Is it a unique, sexy name now?
That's what it always
Yeah,
was quality control, right?
And that's what they are.
You didn't really have an assistant to running back coach back in the day. I don't know if you have that now.
Yeah, it's a grad assistant here.
Sure,
So,
okay.
I think what people look at the staff and say, wow, it's a massive staff. Reality, it's probably about the same size as far as actual coaches as what we had at Memphis, what most of the teams are doing. Everybody's got one guy. Now you look at it and say, well, Ryan, you've 2 offensive line coaches and 2 defensive line coaches. That is correct. And I
Yeah.
think, when you think about that, if you got 21 offensive linemen on a roster and you have 18 defensive linemen, well, having one true guy just coach that plus a GA, that's not enough.
No, you're
So I
right.
think you get 2 that can go on the road recruiting at both sides of the ball. It really allows you to maximize that. And so one of the things we've done is we've pulled the special teams coordinator off the road recruiting, because most kickers, most snappers, they'll come to camp, they'll come visit and all those things. But I think when you're going and getting, you got to put the percentage, right? The number of
Yeah.
guys that are going to be bringing in per class. It makes sense to have those, and especially, right, the amount of plays they're getting. So that's kind of what we've done with the staff.
What are you telling your players, and what do you want to tell the message to the fans about how things are going to be different this year and moving forward?
Yeah, it starts with the way we work. And every college football coach thinks their group's working hard. Every college team right now is saying we're outworking everybody, but it's the way we work. It's the attention to detail. You guys have heard me use the mantra all in, and it's kind of
Yeah.
something, and I'm not into corny catchphrases and any of that stuff. I don't believe in it, but if the guys don't believe in it, then we're going to get rid of it. We're not going to say anything. But we talk about being all in, and that means just a full buy-in from all, whatever, 175, 108 people in this football program, fully bought into the way we do things, right? From the academics, their staff, from the janitors to the general manager to the head coach to the backup linebacker to the starting running back. There's full buy-in in everything we do, and the attention to detail. And I want everybody to have a sense of urgency with what we're trying to accomplish. I can't promise you how many games we're going to win next year. I can't, but I can tell you this: we're going to come out swinging every single day and try to maximize that into the way we're attacking everything. And I think that's what, if we can push that into our guys' mentality, no different. We had the morning workouts this morning, just understanding, hey, this is what it needs to look like. Hey, no, you were that close to touching the line. That doesn't count, right? Your body language is
Old school.
terrible. There's no other version. Right? Like I always say, like I love our players. I'm gonna hug them. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna celebrate the good. But there's also a certain standard that we are going to set, and we're going to meet it every single day. We're never going to deviate from that. And I think the kids understand that. And part of that is making sure every single person, myself included, realize that we got to be the best version of ourselves every second we get.
You know, we were talking about this earlier, and reading your history, I really want to know two things. Like, one, you seem like a real grassroots guy, but where does your hunger come from? What drives you to be the best coach, and where did that start? Because when I look, it seems like you were the bottom guy on the totem pole, and you slowly worked your way up. You worked hard, and now it seems like it's come to fruition where you have this opportunity to do something great. And like, I know that I'm on board with it, but I want to know, from Ryan Silverfield's perspective, where did this love of coaching come from? And then now that this hunger comes in to win, what drives that?
Yeah, I think like everybody, I love the game of football. I love everything it stands for. I was so fortunate to have some good coaches. I never played past the age of 18 due to an injury, but I always loved what it stood for, right? The hard work, the dedication, the belief in working as a team, the leadership abilities to able to bring out the intelligence that it requires. All those things, those are attractive to me.
Mhm.
And, I always feel humbled the fact that and sad that I never served in our military, but like, how else can I find a way to serve young men and give back? And that's why I initially got into this thing. When you coach in Division III football, you certainly weren't doing it for the money.
How old were you as high school coach? 21?
When I was a head high school coach, I was 23 years old.
23.
And I
Wow.
was 20 years
Youngest
old.
in America, you said, at the time.
Yeah,
Wow.
youngest. And
We don't want to talk about the results.
Oh, terrible. Yeah, listen, I learned. Yeah. So, but yeah, when you start coaching when you're 18, and I think just growing and seeing, I think, Peyton, for me, the attractiveness of the whole thing was you get to pour into a kid and you get to see them make a difference on the field and the results and winning in the competition. And then also, eventually becoming better young men.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's truly why I got into this thing. Obviously, it changed. You coach, the opportunity to coach in the NFL. I wasn't talking to Adrian Peterson and Brett Favre about, all right, make great decisions this evening and, have a great week and do well with your academics. No, it was more about teaching and showing guys that we're an opportunity to work with and maybe prolong their careers in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then you get to coach college football. And I think that's the ultimate combination of the high school and the NFL where, man, that still, I don't care how much people say it's transactional, transitional, whatever the hell you want to call it. I still believe you can pour into these guys, and there's no better feeling on Saturdays than going out there and watching the guys compete.
Mhm.
And I'm not stepping in between those white lines other than coach, but I'm stepping back out and watching those guys, and I love it. It's the ultimate game of chess every day, and the opportunity again that still includes those things that I think are important: the hard work, the dedication that still requires. It takes a lot of sacrifice to play college football.
Those.
And so I think I give those guys a lot of credit. And the biggest thing is, can you coach them and can you hold them accountable? And you ultimately want guys that are going to be held accountable to achieve exactly what we're trying to achieve. And we're judged in wins, and that's great.
Yeah.
But I also, when they bury me one day, I hope it's going to have a fantastic record on there. But then you go back to what's my why. It also, hopefully, I made an impact on young men.
Well, good. Well, he sold me.
Yeah,
How
well,
about you?
and you talk about all the sacrifice college football takes, but man, I feel like this state is so hungry. So it can be with the right group, it can be so fulfilling, and that's going to start with spring football. So we talk about the staff and the biggest in Arkansas history. You seem like, I'm reading between the lines here, really data analytically driven kind of guy. So what do you look for from your staff to kind of use that data in spring football, and what does spring football look like? Maybe, as we said, you've been so accessible. Are the doors open to fans a little bit more? Are you guys looking into some stuff like that?
Yeah. So first off, to an extent, data driven, right? I'm a nerd, but not over the top.
We're not going to go for 4th and 1 on our own 30-yard line, right? That's
Even
not
though
gonna
the
happen.
analytics would tell you too, right? It's always. I think you got to use every part of it, and I think there's still a gut instinct, a feel for everything. Like right deep down, let's call it what it is. I'm a nerd meathead. I just don't look like one. And so
Economics guy, right?
Yeah, but let's not kid ourselves. It's it's all ball. I love if I had my druthers, I'd lock myself in a dark room and watch film for about 6 days and just gameplay.
Probably what you've been doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Peyton's giving me a hard time about the lack of sleep. That's the part of it.
I mean, we walked
It's
in
the
here, man.
kids. It's the kids that do it with the lack of sleep, man. It's not the football.
He's kind of dodging that bullet right now, not intentionally,
Yeah,
but
the wife's been a superstar, so I'll give her make sure
That's
that
awesome.
it's noted on publicly. I'm giving her all the credit. I just work. But all that being said, I think spring ball we are going to do a spring game. We're going to announce that hopefully in the near future. I think that's important to involve the
Traditional
fans.
spring game, or maybe a little bit more modified for the modern culture,
kind
kind of like an open practice kind of thing.
it'll be a good combination, right? We'll do a spring game with some other things that I think, how do you involve crowds? Let's call it what it is. I think if you just go out there and say, okay, we're just going to play 4 quarters of football, the roster size will be hard to make that,
Yeah.
as we're still continue to add some guys, but we're going to put on a showcase for the fans to see and to see what we're all about and compete. And I think as people are already seeing, we're trying to put out there as much as we can on social media without giving away who we are and what we are, but
Yeah.
a feel for what's the behind the scenes of the program. And I think as much as we can involve our great fans, and media can get a glimpse of what we're all about, I'm going to allow more access to our support staff and our coaches, because I think that's important. Because let me just tell you guys this, they're the ones that do all the work. I'm the one that occasionally gets asked to just drive the bus. So
Come on a podcast.
I can give, I'm going to come on a podcast. We'll see if Kyle will let me allow him to do it. But we'll continue to try to push the great narrative of everything that's going on.
You ever see Rocky IV?
Yes.
The Russians that are looking over Stallone whenever he's working out.
Yeah.
That's Kyle, man. He's the eye in the sky over there.
You don't see him with the duct tape. As soon as I go to say something, he's like,
Hey, this ain't live. This ain't live. We're going to take care of it. So final thought here, just a thought on the state of college football. 2 things I want to get to. Peyton's a small playoff guy. He thinks it should be 8. They're going to stay at 12 at least for now. Anything you want to see from the playoff? Maybe no automatic qualifiers, 24 teams. What do you want?
I had to walk that fine line because I'd coached at group of 5, group of 6, whatever it is nowadays. It's probably going to change tomorrow, group of 7. But I'd coached at that level, and I was always thought that one of those teams deserved a shot. I truly did. And but I think we look in our conference and what's going on right now, playing 9 conference games.
Mhm.
I think if you could look at
Could be 10 in a couple of years.
could easily be 10 in a couple of years. I'm just gonna bite my tongue. Whatever's best for the conference and best for the league and best for the Razorbacks, I'm all for. But ultimately, listen, I'd like to see teams included in this thing to see what it is. Clearly, there's a thirst for it, right? I'm not one of those guys that says, all right, let's go to 72 teams in a college basketball.
Yeah.
64 is a lot, right? And I don't have all the answers. I think a lot of it is, when does college football start? Like, do you move it back to week 0? That's some of the discussion.
Yeah, I'd like that. I'm a little concerned from a player perspective, even a fan perspective. Hot. It's gonna be hot in the South if you're moving it up a week or 2.
Yeah, no question about it, right? Like, you move it up a week, but then are you done in January, or do you keep it where it's at? And you understand the last 2 seasons we've had 2 bye weeks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Does that now affect when the back game is, or is it now all of a sudden you're asking a college football player to play 15 games? Well, what's the portal window look like? What's the calendar window look like? I think we're trying to figure all that out. And if I had all those answers, I'd certainly give them. But I think we're trying to get a feel. I'll just say this, and this is my 28th year coaching. Okay. And this is my 7th year as a head coach. In my 7 years as a head coach, there's not been a single season that's had a similar 12-month calendar, right? Like,
Yeah,
hey, the
no doubt.
signing dates changed here.
Mhm.
The transfer windows changed here, that this is going according, that this is the dead period, this is the recruiting quiet period. And so reality, I just would like to see, can we have back-to-back same years, so at least we can have something to compare? Hey, we like this, or let's tweak this.
Just to normalize things a little bit more. I
Maybe
mean,
have some educated information, then every time it's the ready, fire, aim.
well, I mean, y'all don't know what to expect year to year. And I mean, it has to change up so much. And then heck with the way NIL, how it's going to go from year to year too.
Who
I mean,
knows?
y'all
Yeah.
have no kind of normalization of the game whatsoever. And when I was playing,
It is
it
unregulated.
was just normal as it could be. And so, I mean, I can tell that y'all are stuck with a lot more trials than most
He's smiling.
time. Well,
He's smiling.
I mean, it's not even funny. I mean, the things these guys have to go through just to compete, you know what I mean? It's just, I mean, your talent as a head coach, I mean, that's like second tier to what you have to do first as far as recruiting and dealing with fans and everything else. I mean, it seems like a whole different type of job.
It is. It's unique in that essence, right? Like what allowed me to become a good coach. Obviously, you got to have personable skills. You got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to teach. I still think having the ability to teach and educate young men and get the point across where they can go perform at a high level, that will never change, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much this seat as a head coach becomes a CEO role. I still think that's part of it, right? I still organize. I still got to
You're
coach.
filling it well, Ryan.
Yeah, but part of that, wait, you're always going to have to fundraise. And that will never change, right? No different than the CEO of Walmart. You still got to find ways to get money in and figure those things out and communicate with people. But you're exactly right. Like the abilities to now, how do I navigate the economic major is finally coming out, right? 30 years later.
As is that meeting with the CEO of Walmart.
Exactly.
That's got to be coming out.
Exactly. But I just think you're exactly right, Peyton. It's so different. The ability to coach offensive line and communicate, those are great skills. But I'm using those less and less,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many great plays I can scheme up if I can't get my point across to the guys or if I can't get certain things done.
Yeah. I was also thinking, I mean, like when you said in there a while ago, when you came into it, you're right off the plane, then you had 48 hours. I remember back in the day, coaches had a little time off, before, recruiting started. And I mean,
and in the NFL, coaches really do have time off.
Oh, yeah.
February, July, you are off. But in college, it seems like it never stops.
I mean, it's never ending. I mean, it's never ending for you guys. And that's hard.
Yeah. I think we won't go down this rabbit hole, but I think the collective bargaining agreement in the NFL has allowed for people to at least understand this is the downtime.
Yeah,
players aren't allowed.
We need to go down that rabbit hole. Maybe y'all need a CBA.
That's the next time on the podcast.
Well, I mean, like, do you foresee something like an NFLPA, but for NIL for players to where, it kind of structured it a little bit better for y'all? Or
well, I think that listen, no one's going to feel sorry for the hours that coaches work or what's occurring. I think people try to put in rev share models and say, hey, here's the cap, and try to I guess, structure things with NIL Go and all the other things that are supposed to be in place. We all know that there's a lot of work that's needed to get it where it goes. I would like to just say, okay, now February is at least a dead period, right? And as much as I love recruiting, right, I still recruiting every single day. I'm texting, calling, FaceTiming recruits every single day. Well, at least they right now in February, they're not able to come on campus, but at some point they need to go to class, right? And we need to be around our current players. I would like to be able to spend some time.
They do
with our
need to
current
go
players.
to class.
And so I think all those things are being said that,
I mean, it's the Wild West, you know what I mean? They're the sheriff and you're trying to hold it as better. I mean, together as best you can, but I don't even like talking to my friends that much, and y'all have to.
You have to adapt.
You have to talk to everybody.
I'm sure you'd be the first person to say, you have to adapt to the change, or you're going to get left behind.
Absolutely. I always say this: it is college football, college athletics is, you're on a train that's going downhill, and someone threw the brakes out the window, and you have to stay ahead of it, or you're going to get run over. And guess what? There's going to be something in the next 3 weeks that the next time we all sit down and do this, you guys will say, hey, you were exactly right. Something pretty drastic that's going to change in college athletics. And we're going to say, you're exactly right. And and none of us will know it's coming, or we can try to get ahead of it and say, okay, they're changing this. Now we got to move camps to here. Or now all of a sudden everybody's playing week 0. What does that look like?
Playing Battleship, just trying to expect where the next move is going to be. I mean, golly.
Well, and speaking of playing, the undefeated Arkansas Razorback football coach, Ryan Silverfield. Thank you so much, man. Take your time. Know you're a busy guy. Know the fan base is excited. Keep showing up to the basketball game, not just the men's basketball game. Checking out Kelsey Music too, right? Showing her some love.
Went to women's basketball. Been to plenty of the men's. I've got gymnastics on the docket to get to. I've heard that's quite exciting. But what's so great about all of the Arkansas Razorback sports is they're all high level, and there's so much support. Like, you know what? I can't wait to get out there and watch some baseball games. I'm fired up.
Holler at me. I'll hook you up with some base. I mean, we'll go.
Where's my tickets? What is this?
This is an AB conversation here. I ain't talking to you.
Every luxury suite, Palm Stadium has a bathroom. I've never been in one, but that's what I hear.
What you hear?
Only top notch. Yeah.
Well, maybe Peyton will take both of us.
Hey, we'll do it. I like it.
One thing I really wanted to get to, we should have talked about. Can you get me some Jelly Roll tickets? I'm all for big events, and this is going to help out Arkansas football. It's going to generate more money for the university. I love it.
Yeah, I see if I can name some of his songs, but we'll see what we can.
Honestly, I can't name any of his songs, but it's going to be
me neither. I don't know one.
It's going to be the place to be. 60,000 people showing up for a concert. You know what? Why not?
I'm excited. And the sensitive guy, the coach in me said, I hope they don't ruin that field for practice.
Uh-uh.
That was my very first thought.
Be putting some turf down, right?
But hey, as long as they're raising money for Arkansas athletics, I'm
doubt.
all for it. I'll be out there selling tickets.
Ryan Silverfield, Peyton Hillis, thank you guys so much for taking some time. Best of luck this year.
Thanks so much. Go
Thank-
Hogs.
Hey, thanks for coming out, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.